right, folks, Sean the Average Angler, and look, man, fall can be such a fun time to fish if you know what to do to trigger bites. Otherwise, it can be a really, really tough time to fish. Today, we're going to go over one of my favorites, and look, I love square bill, and that's why I did it first. But there's another one that does really well, and that's the chatterbait. But it's fall, it's not spring. So I prefer to fish the chatterbait differently, and I figured this pattern out years ago, and I'm going to share it with you today. I'm going to give you the juice. I'm going to ask you to do a little homework next time you're on the water, because you need to see what this does to the bait so that you can picture it and perform it while you're fishing, okay? In the spring, the water's cooler, the fish are getting ready to spawn, and they don't really want baits moving too fast. So it's much easier to cast and retrieve the bait slower. In the fall, if we do that, you may or may not catch them. I prefer to do something to trigger the fish. Now we're going to get to that in a minute. First, let's go over rods I throw these on. And again, much like the square bill, two different ways to do it, okay? For two different circumstances, we're going to cover them both. First of all, again, same type of thing. This is a 723. It's called the Stone Cold Swim and Vibrating Jig Rod. This is an Irod Gen 3. You'll see I got a chatterbait on there right now. Irod Gen 3, okay? This is the $149 price point. Lifetime warranty, folks. Look, these things are awesome. The more and more I fish with them, the more and more I like them. Okay, this is the IQ, because this is a Quercus 733V. The V is for vibrating jig rod. It's called the Wild Card Bladed Jig Rod. Okay, it's 7'3". So 7'2", 7'3". Same type of reasons as a square bill. Most of the time, we're going to have shorter pinpoint casts. Okay, we're target hunting. Docks, piling, same type of stuff as yesterday with the square bill. But there's also a great way to trigger with a chatterbait that's more effective than the square bill without hitting anything. Okay? Now in the spring, it's been my experience this doesn't work so well. In the fall, completely different. Okay? And the beauty of this is I've had my best days doing it on a Chatterbait Elite. Okay? These are like $6.99, $5.99, depending on where you buy them. These have a skirt that you can change. It just slides on and off right here. You can buy, Z-Man sells them. I think they're called quick skirts or something. So you can buy them in different colors. You can pull the skirts on and off. Doesn't destroy them, okay? It's, as you can see, it's a one-way skirt, right? So the ends in the middle, it doesn't go through a rubber band like a typical chatterbait. I didn't pull one out here to show you the difference. Anyway, I think you get it. All right, now let's get into trailer and what we want that's different in the spring versus the fall. Now, in the fall, I'm looking for something much more compact, okay? At times, depending on your body of water, the Mini Max might be the ticket, okay? Look how short that is compared to that. There's an inch difference between the Elite and the Mini Max. Now with the Mini Max, you might need to shorten one of these up. I'm going to show you in a second. Trailers, because the trailer is key to this working. Again, we want to keep it fairly compact. So, this is what I've got. Okay, you see the body of the bait is essentially to the back bend of the hook. Okay, I got the curl going down, like so, voila, okay? Generally, I like to use all white because all white's bright, it's easy to see, it's a good trigger color. Now, it doesn't matter which way I'm fishing this, I'm going to do essentially the same thing. Let me cover the first one, then we'll get to the second one and I'll tell you how we do that. Now, first is our shorter cast, targeting docks, wood, grass lines, whatever it may be. Whatever kind of hard cover you have to throw at or around. Now, whereas the square bill you wanted to try and bump into things, we can trigger this and make it looks like it hit something much easier, because the nature of the chatterbait, when you do what I'm about to tell you, it makes it do very odd movements, okay? It'll go left and then dart out to the right and then stop. Now, one of the setup, and I do have one on here right now. One reason I like this model reel, because it stands out, okay? This is a 6.3-to-1 Tatula. I need the 6.3 for doing this technique because what I'm doing is burning the bait. So I'm using the reel to slow it down a little bit. So I just crank fast, okay? And every once in a while, you just want to twitch into the rod as you're reeling and then stop reeling. And what it does is it makes that freaking bait, and then it'll kind of start to flutter down. Now you don't want to stop too long. Just a second, twitch it, stop, and then go again. That change of direction is the key to triggering strikes. I have had some amazing days in the fall doing this. And the beauty of the chatterbait is you can cover water with it. Now, that brings us to the second way I like to present the bait. Now we're going to make long casts. The other thing I forgot to mention. So we're going to make long casts with a 1/2 ounce chatterbait, okay? Long casts. Now you can do it 3/8, but I prefer to just use a half for the same thing because I'm not using multiple rods. I'm using the same rod and I'm just go, 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 go. Maybe you got 2 different colors, okay? For me, white has always worked phenomenal, and I believe it has great trawling power, so it will pull fish in, and when they get there and you do that twitch, it just triggers that fish and boom, they crush it, okay? I've caught the big fish of the tournament multiple times doing this. Trust me, you get out there and do it, you're gonna have some fun, and you're gonna go, holy crap. Now, I don't want to tell you it works every day, it doesn't, okay? But it works a lot of the time, especially when they first start getting up there and they're really aggressive on shad. This is a great way. It's a single hook, so if you can get them to eat this and the square bill, I'm gonna go with the chatterbait just because I think the hookup is better, okay? Where they stay hooked up better. Now, also, 18 to 20 pound test, period. Most of the time I'm just 20 fluorocarbon, FC Sniper is what I like to use. All right, so we've narrowed it down, and this is how I like to fish it when I'm covering water. I'm going to cast at a 45-degree angle to the bank as I work down from dock to dock. Now, some of the areas I fish, docks are kind of spread out. You may have 100 yards. So I'm going to cast, burn, twitch, twitch every probably 20 yards. Just twitch, twitch twice, okay? Dart, dart, go. Dart, dart, go. About every 20 yards. You will be surprised. I tend to catch more big fish in between the docks than I do on the docks. Now, I've caught my biggest on the dock, but I've caught more big fish between them. Now, most of the time I'm going to stick with a shad pattern, okay? That's a little bit too much chartreuse, but hey, for some lakes it may be great. Smallmouth, probably really good. This is getting me so excited, it's making my throat scratchy. So, all white, the electric shad Evo, another good one. Plus, what I like about the Evo is it's got this sparkly blade. I really believe in the fall, it's all about the draw. The fish are already aggressive because they're feeding up. They get close to that thing and you do your twitch, and it triggers them and they just attack it. Now, let's get into some of the minor details here. The grub I like to use, this is a Zoom Fat Albert, and it's just white, okay? I've got some other ones here. I've got the Big Bite baits. I don't know why it wouldn't work. Bass Pro Shops XPS. This is not as loud, color-wise, but it's called Ghost Shad. It's a good color. Actually, the size of material of this seems like a direct knockoff of the Zoom. If you want to throw green pumpkin, and who doesn't? Something like a Beehite Delight or just straight green pumpkin. This is green pumpkin with purple flake. And then we have watermelon seed, okay? So you can do that. I've never used these colors this time of year. Most of the time the white is just so good that I don't need to venture off into other stuff. So I'll stay with the white type stuff. Even the Evo that has some of the gray up there. Transparent gray. It's not real bold. And with the white grub on there, that'll work just fine, okay? You can use a jackhammer, okay? I'm not saying you can't. What I'm saying is you don't need to spend all the money. This still has a 5/0 Gamakatsu hook. I've never had a problem hooking the fish on this. A lot of times what I do, fun fishing and practicing, I'm gonna go with a knockoff, okay? This one cost me $350. It's got a great hook. It's a great build. On game day, I may go to the real thing. It depends on what I see with these in practice. Quite honestly, I'd probably just stay with it. I'm not sure what the hook is on this. I don't think it tells you. But it's sharp, it's strong, it does the job. Fall fishing can be very, very frustrating, and I had those days early in my bass fishing career when I was fishing tournaments. TOCs here are always in the fall, and quite honestly, I sucked for years. I really, really struggled figuring out how to catch the bass. This week, I'm sharing 3 awesome techniques that I wished I'd have known back then, okay? This is number 2. So number 3 is still coming. The Chatterbait, Z-Man, the Evos, I think, is probably one of the best buys on the market. And then the Jackhammer. Who can argue with the Jackhammer, right? Look, I've got tons of Jackhammers. I probably fish the Evo the most. Lately on my local lakes, I've been fishing the Noibi, which is a AliExpress special, right? This right here is a Noibi. It's marked on the bottom just like the others. That's a 3/8. Probably why I didn't catch anything. I just like to throw the 1/2 ounce. And that there is a Chatterbait Evo. You can tell by the sparkle blade. This bluegill pattern has been doing me really good locally lately. That's probably the other one that I would do in the fall over green pumpkin. And green pumpkin could be considered bluegill. But I really like that bluegill. It's been doing really, really well by me. I need to find something like a hot snakes type color grub. I think would work excellent on there. But anyway, thanks for watching the channel. Like, subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Be on the lookout for one more of these coming this week. It's going to be fall baits that you've got to be fishing. And look, this is probably my favorite fishing the chatterbait. The hookup ratio is phenomenal. There's not a lot there behind the hook point and that curl tail, right? Very, very effective. Overlooked drastically. When I first started fishing chatterbaits, the ones I was buying, they came with a grub on them, and they were phenomenal. And, you know, everybody got into the Zaccos and some, now the chatter spike, these deals here, the spunk shad, but, you know, a lot of great trailers out there, and I love these. The fall time, I want to get something closer to that hook point. It's got a lot of action, a lot of drawing power. That's what we need. Let's go out there, catch some fish. We'll see you on the next one.